a big leap help for some small fans on the Valley Isle. These are pictures snapped over the weekend from the first ever Shane Victorino Foundation Youth Clinic. The newly named Boston Red Sox hosted the clinic at Maui High with the help of about a half dozen other MLB players. And the Flying Hawaiian himself joins us in studio this morning. Good morning, Shane.
Good morning, Will.
Welcome back to the Islands. So first of all, I have to ask you about your new uniform in Boston and your $39 million deal. How crazy is that?
You know, again, it's like you sit there and you hear that number, but, you know, ultimately I've always looked at it as the game of baseball. And, you know, going out there and being blessed to play the game of baseball, you know, passion and love for that game. You know, the money figures there, but at the end of the day, it's about the game. And it's about going out there and going to a new city like Boston and having fun. And, you know, playing the game, like I said, that I love, that I played as a little kid. And, you know, I still look at it that way.
Well, that's great that you still have those ideals in mind. You know, last month we had a great conversation with Melissa, your wife, about, you know, your life and sort of the craziness of baseball. And she said that when you moved, you didn't really have time to say goodbye to your Philadelphia teammates. How was that for you? And how do you kind of keep things real when your career is so crazy?
You know, it was definitely tough. I mean, she did say that correctly because I didn't have time. You know, we were on the road. I got the call. I had to go, you know, get packed up and get back to Philly and get back to the West Coast to join the Dodgers. And, you know, so I didn't really get to say bye to all my teammates. But, you know, I got, you know, we exchanged messages via text. And, you know, I'll get my chance in running into those guys this year, you know, because we do play them, you know, and we go in spring training, we'll get to see them. So, you know, the game of baseball is one of those things that sometimes you have to pack up and go. And I understand that. It is a business, and I look at it that way. But, you know, ultimately at the end, you know, having a supportive family that supports me, that's able to, you know, pick up and go with me, you know, helps a lot. So I'm very fortunate that, you know, I do have that support of my family and you know, everybody, you know, not just my family, but the people that I deal with every day, you know, in the game of baseball.
Talk about your Shane Victorino Foundation and your first ever youth clinic on Maui this past weekend.
Oh, it was a blast. You know, growing up in Maui, I didn't have the luxury of going to baseball camps. You know, and for me, I think what made it special is, you know, myself being there, but not only myself, but other local kids from Maui that are there. You know, my cousin Dayton Alexander, my cousin Connie Kotek Shera, a close friend of mine, Brandon Kaupe. So some of these names from the Valley Isle that are getting an opportunity to go and follow in my footsteps and try to get to the major leagues. But to be able to come back and to be able to work with these kids and go out there with them and give them, you know, an actual, you know, figure to look at and say, hey, you know what, if Shane can do it, why can't I? And that's the thing that was most important to me, was to be back and to be around these kids and to give them hope, to give them inspiration, to say that, hey, hopefully that, you know, I can do it if Shane can do it.
Well, you guys are heroes in their eyes. What is it like working with these kids, and what's their reaction to actually meeting you and maybe getting a few baseball tips as well?
You know, a lot of them were excited, of course, more than anything. I think that, you know, a lot of them, and a few of them was like, are you really Shane Victorino? You know, they're kind of more shocked than anything. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, these kids understand. And, you know, giving them hope, giving them dreams, giving them, you know, something to shoot for, you know, is what's special to me. So, you know, again, just having my foundation and having the support of the, you know, Hawaii and the support of all my sponsors, and each and every year, you know, sponsors like Tommy Bahama and the, you know, Passman Jewelry and Four Seasons, and, you know, again, I can go on and on and on and all the support that I get. But, you know, without the support of the community, my foundation wouldn't be able to put it on a youth clinic like this and to have my annual golf again. So, you know, for me, I turn around and I always give everybody else an applaud to say thank you for supporting my foundation. Not only that, but supporting me as a, you know, as the baseball player, and, you know, everybody in support of my family.
Let's talk about your friend Manti Te'o. He came that close to a Heisman, but he still got a slew of other awards. Have you had a chance to talk to him?
Yeah, I spoke to him. You know, I spoke to him on a few occasions leading up to it, you know, after it. You know, of course, I think he was a little disappointed. You know, and I think some of his, you know, his comments were great, though. You know, at the end of the day, yes, a Heisman Trophy is an individual award. But, you know, at the end of the day, he didn't win that award. And the comment that I liked the best was, you know what, the national championship means, you know, just as much to me. So, you know, I think Manti is a kid that, you know, he's learned a lot. I think that he's grown, he's matured. You know, spending that time that I did at Notre Dame against, you know, his second to his last collegiate game on his senior day was very special to see how this kid has matured. And, you know, up to the point, I never really met the kid, but, you know, getting that opportunity to fly to Notre Dame, to fly to South Bend, to be with his family, to meet with him, and, you know, to hang out for a couple of days after football was done, and to talk about life and to talk about lessons. And, you know, what was important to me and what I felt like we had something so similar part was he used the comment that, you know what, it's about showing kids in Hawaii that, hey, if you put your dreams and you set them high, anything can happen. And Manti is a perfect example of that. You know, this kid basically was going to go to USC or going to go to a BYU or going to go to a West Coast team, but took a chance and went, you know, all the way to the East Coast, you know, or should say central of, you know, part of the United States, and took a chance to go to school like Notre Dame and made the best of it. And, you know, this is only the start for him. You know, unfortunately, not winning the Heisman was, you know, the big accolade, but, you know, I think he's won 7 or 8 other awards, and to me that shows and exemplifies what he is, and not just as a football player, but as an individual, a guy who was in the community. And that's, to me, another part was being there. It wasn't about everybody talking about how special a football player was. Everybody talked about how special he was as an individual, what he did for the community, what he did for kids, and what he did for people in that area. To me, that's what made that story special to me, not just because Manti is a good football player. You know, the football accolades are going to be there, but at the end of the day, to know that you got another kid representing Hawaii for being a good person, to me, that was what was special to me.
Well, you're that other kid from Maui, so it's great to
much.
see that you've been so successful and you're giving back to the community.
Thank you.
Shane Victorino, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to see this interview again, you can head to the top video section of our website, kitv.com. It is 6:21. We'll be right back.